Well, hello there, Aquarius. It is so good to see you again. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So today we're doing a little bit of a special reading. This is in celebration of the full moon in Scorpio and the lunar eclipse that happens on Friday, May 5th. So this is a week you could be feeling a lot of emotions. It'll kind of continue into next week, but this is an important kind of time. Even though it can be difficult emotionally, it is helping to bring up some of the emotions, the things that need to be released at this time so that you can step into that Scorpio energy of transformation. So allowing some things or people, situations, beliefs, habits to leave your life so that you can, oh, look at this, achieve something that you are truly wanting to achieve. Or manifest, something that you are wanting to manifest. So we're going to take a look at the overall energy with the oracle cards, and then we're going to go into the tarot to kind of take a look at what you've learned over the last 6 months, what it is time to release, and then finally what your next step, advice for your next step. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. You have passion and pleasure, savor your life, and embrace your life purpose. Interesting. So Libra had this same energy, and they had a little bit of an energy of pleasure and play. So it's understanding that your work, for you, your message is a little different than Libra's. It really is about understanding that your work should bring you a lot of pleasure and play. All right, so let's go to the tarot, and we're first going to take a look at what you have learned over the last 6 months. Yeah, okay, so one of the things that you've kind of learned, it's kind of interesting, is that, you have the Nine of Swords, anxiety, fear, that life is, that where you are in life is the status quo, is that it's not going to change, right? And so this is kind of a difficult energy of, over the last 6 months, you may have stepped into an energy of thinking, is this all that life really has to offer me? Is this the way my life is going to be for the rest of my life, really kind of stepping into that energy of being perhaps not only anxious about it, but also a little bit saddened, almost a little bit of giving up hope. Yeah, so one of the things that is happening is that you have, over the last 6 months, come into this energy of wanting to go in a new direction, of balancing out your life, of having the courage and the strength to make the changes that you want to make, even though you are afraid to make them, okay? Because the moon represents our fears too, our subconscious fears. It's almost as if you're recognizing that over the last 6 months that you are, it's almost like you may feel like you're walking on eggshells in your relationships or at work or something like that, that you're recognizing that your life is filled with a lot of fear. You're not stepping into who you truly are because you could be afraid of losing relationships or your job or something like that. I mean, all realistic perhaps, but at the same time, you're not who you really and truly want to be. There's no pleasure in your life because you're trying to please everyone else. But that doesn't bring you pleasure, And at work, you could feel like, yeah, my work is just, it's the doldrums, Is this all that my job has to offer? Is this all I'm meant to do? And now you're stepping into this energy. It's really very transformational because you're stepping into energy of recognizing this is not what I want. I have the strength and the courage to make changes in my life, to bring more balance into my life. To understand, okay, I'm not living in fear any longer. And I feel like that's what you're understanding. Over the last 6 months, you could have found like you were having a really hard time sleeping or just anxious all the time, and now you're kind of allowing yourself to recognize, okay, that you have kind of almost stepped into a life of just making choices based on being fearful of people leaving your life or situations leaving your life. And I think it was so subconscious between the moon and the status quo. You could have even kind of, because the full moon in Scorpio can bring up a lot of things from childhood. You could recognize, I've been like this since I was a child, right? Because I was always afraid if I didn't please my parents, you know, that I would be punished or they would, you know, not love me or what, you know, really and truly, if I don't make my boss happy, right, then I'm going to lose my job. It was almost a sense that you may suddenly over the last 6 months kind of started to realize you were living in a life of fear, of catastrophizing all of the situations in your life. And that was, you know, basically how you were living your life. It's almost like you've gotten this clarity. You may not know what to do with that clarity yet, or what your next step is, but it's kind of like, yes, in all of my relationships, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I'm always trying to please other people instead of finding the passion and pleasure in my own life. It's almost like you're creating passion and pleasure for other people, but never really and truly enjoying your own, whatever your own passion and pleasure is. So let's take a look at where you are now and what is coming up for you. Yeah, you have back and forth and then the Six of Cups. I think you're going back to childhood. There's something you could be very much, because this full moon in Scorpio can really bring up a lot of childhood things. It's almost like you could be kind of like reminiscing and seeing how things, the way that you may have acted as a child is very much the way that you are acting at this time in your adult life, right? So when you were a child, you were really trying to please your parents or your teachers or keep the peace or whatever, right? And now you're recognizing, wait a minute, I'm not stepping into my adult self, right? I'm still in that mindset, perhaps just a mindset of how to of relying on making decisions based on what will make other people happy instead of what is going to make you truly happy. Wow, this is huge. Yes, and this does, look at this. You have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. Stepping really into your truth, doing this huge healing. This full moon in Scorpio is really transformational for you. If you're resonating with this, it is helping you to heal, to step into your truth, to say, I'm moving forward in a new way. I want to break that pattern of making decisions, of doing things in my life because I'm trying to please other people or bring them pleasure, enjoyment, fulfillment, right? But not having kind of a way forward that is inspired by what I want, what my life purpose is. Really interesting, because up to this point, you may have thought that your life purpose was helping to make other people happy, right? You know, and now it's kind of like, no, wait a minute. I have the clarity. My purpose is not to make other people happy. That's their part. Everybody is responsible for their own happiness. You are not responsible for the happiness of other people. Instead, you are responsible for your own happiness. And your happiness, your sense of fulfillment and joy, abundance, comes from stepping into your life purpose, your true life purpose, not helping other people to meet their life purpose. Unless, you know, like if you want to be a coach or something like that, then that is helping to inspire other people, okay, to step into their purpose. That could be your purpose. But this is not. What you have on the table over here is not. I think you may have confused. You may have been confused because since childhood, you may have been conditioned to believe that Aquarius, you're here to help make other people happy. You could be just so good at it too, right? People are always like, oh, Aquarius, you know, you're so good at, you know, getting events put together or entertaining other people or doing things for other people. And you've kind of like allowed yourself to take on that cloak of identity. And now what you're recognizing is that really doesn't bring me any pleasure. It's time for me to step into an energy of looking for what is my purpose, what will bring me joy in my life. So what is your greatest obstacle? Yeah, the healing light and the devil, being attached to this idea that you are, oh, okay. So the message I'm getting is that you are the healer. You are a healer, Aquarius, right? And you're the star card in Tarot. You are a healer, but you, to this point, you have kind of been conditioned to believe, you are attached to the idea that you help other people heal when you are kind of like taking care of them. Okay. So instead you are being, we're going to look to see where this is going, instead of taking care of other people. Okay. Now, like if you're a nurse, okay, you do take care of other people. That might be your purpose, but you're confusing the actual taking care of other people as your purpose as being a healer, instead of being a healer by stepping into being inspired and moving towards why you are here. You are a healer. Oh, I'm not. Okay, let me see if I can make that clearer. You are a healer. It's just you're confused. You're attached to thinking that healing has to be in a certain way. Even a nurse that is a healer, okay? In the tangible, you are a spiritual healer. Maybe that's where we need to go, all right? You are a spiritual healer. You're not just a healer in the 3D. So it's not, yes, you're seeing the clarity. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I feel like all of a sudden you're seeing the clarity of something that happened when you were a child. The 6 of Cups. The way that you lived as a child did not bring you joy, because you were fixated on taking care of people. Taking care of people and healing their spiritual soul is not the same thing. Sometimes when we take care of people, it can also help to heal their heart, right? To help them to shine their light, for you to step into this energy of shining your light. But it may be that taking care of people, and it could be that you're kind of confusing. Well, I'm here to take care of the people in my life. I feel like you're being called to this whole big world out here. And it's kind of like, no, you're wasting, right? I'm not going to say wasting, but you're spending a lot of your time and energy taking care of people in your own vicinity, your family, your friends, people that love you, Aquarius, okay? And there's this whole other spectrum, the collective over here that is wanting your healing light, and you're confusing taking care of somebody, right? Feeding them, clothing them, helping them with their house or whatever, right? Taking care of and healing. Healing happens when we step into our purpose, when we shine our own light and love. We inspire other people, okay? We help heal other people when we heal ourselves, and then go out and share how we did that with other people. It could be that you're writing a story, you're starting a YouTube channel, right? It could be that, maybe you help to rescue cats or something like that. It's kind of like recognizing that taking care of somebody, okay, is nice. And I'm not saying that you have to stop that. But you're spending a lot of time and energy thinking that that is also helping to heal the collective. There's more to healing, okay, stepping into being a healer than just taking care of other people. Especially, they're saying enabling. If you're taking care of people so much that you're enabling them, okay, and then they're almost relying on you because you have the Devil card. Okay, so it could be codependency, involved in that kind of taking care of people, feeling like that is your purpose, especially like family members, or something like that. If it's young children, that's different, right? We're talking about, other adults. So now what you're doing is you're understanding it's time to get on your horse, okay, Knight of Wands, and start spreading your love and light to other people as part of your purpose. You're seeing clearly that it's time to go in a different direction, to understand that when you wake up every morning, you should feel this joyful energy of sharing your loving energy with other people in a healing way. But that does not mean necessarily taking care of them. There's such a difference. I'm going to have to do a video on that. I'm going to have to think about that for a minute. Okay, your next step. You have dark thoughts and King of Cups. You know, the dark thoughts, it's time to understand that I feel like you're kind of so attached to this idea that your role in life, your identity, is somehow caught up with taking care of other people. It's time to step into this energy of loving yourself, of mastering your emotions, of this energy of what taking care of people. You know, it would maybe that's a good activity, is to make 2 columns, you know, taking care of people. What does that mean for you in your life? Okay. And then, you know, being a loving soul, okay, to the world, stepping into your purpose, being joyful in every single thing. I feel like for some of you, what's happening is that you're taking care of some people or a person here. You're putting a lot of time and energy into that, thinking that is your purpose, but you're having these darker thoughts and thinking, you know, I'm feeling resentful. If you're feeling resentful about this situation, or they don't appreciate me, or I do so much for them and then they forgot my birthday, you know, or something like that, is almost this energy where you're understanding, wait a minute, I'm doing too much. I'm taking care of them, but I'm not stepping into my purpose. That's all I can say. It's time to go in a new direction. You have the Fool card. Time to go in a new direction. Does not mean that you're leaving these people behind or anything like that. It's pulling back your energy and understanding it's time to put your energy into your purpose instead of perhaps taking care of other people. Yeah, you have major arcana all over the place. Whoa, okay. Yeah, you're going to see victory in this. Okay, but it is about moderation. It's about understanding that you're spending too much time, whatever the situation, you're spending way too much time on that. And you have been conditioned, and I'm going to say that again, you've been conditioned since childhood to think that this is somewhat of your purpose. But it's truly not. You are a healer. You are someone that is here to share your love and light with other people. But you have been conditioned to think that that looks a certain way. It's time to understand, to explore what is your life purpose. What does bring you true joy? What does bring you passion and pleasure, excitement about getting up every single day? When you step into that energy, the wheel turns for you. It's like abundance, love, joy suddenly comes to you. You see the victory in all of this. Yeah, you are manifesting and it comes in suddenly, like races in when you recognize, okay? When you recognize you have just been conditioned to believe something that is not true, Aquarius. It's just not true. And you're seeing the light. Wow. That is a little bit of a huge epiphany, right? That you understand that you have been wanting to manifest something your entire life, perhaps your entire life, but you've been manipulated, conditioned to believe that this is your journey, and all of a sudden you're having this epiphany. No, that's not it. I'm going in this other direction. And once again, you have 5 major arcana right here at the very end. It's about understanding. It's not literally walking away from this situation. It's just saying, you know what? Wait a minute. I'm not giving as much time and energy to that. I have something else to go do. Yeah, it's just beautiful. Just really beautiful. I think it may take you by surprise. I think it may take you a little bit by surprise. All right, so let's pull a Soul Truth card for some final advice for you and Aquarius. I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. All right, you have 2 cards. One dropped out while I was shuffling. Name all the things you love. Are you one of them? Yeah, I think, you know, when you name all the things you love, I think you're naming all of these people over here. But then to ask yourself, are you one of them? You know, are you putting as much time and energy into yourself, into your purpose, into your passion and pleasure as you are into providing that for somebody else or a group of people? And what risk can I take today? Be not mistaken. You will have to take bigger risks than you ever thought possible on this path towards your dreams. You will have to take a big, scary leap. But do not fret, because your soul has wings. Yeah, I think this is a huge leap for you. In other words, I think you are going in a direction that is just so different, you know. It kind of reminds me of when I was, I don't know, like a teen. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and she, you know, announced at dinner one night, and, you know, our life was just lovely because my mom stayed home and my grandmother lived with us. So we literally had 2 loving, you know, mothers that took beautiful care of the home and provided nutritious meals, and, you know, everything was just so lovely. And my mother sat down to dinner and she was like, I went and got a job today. And she was like, it's time for me to do something besides just be here. And I just remember it was like, whoa, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Who's going to take me to, you know, my piano lesson? You know? And it was like, it is a little bit, I think for some of you, this is kind of like a big moment when you say, you know what, I no longer have as much time and energy to make your life as special as it is. It's time for me to go and have some fun, to you know, do some things that I truly enjoy. I think that's kind of interesting because I hadn't thought about that in a long time. And it really worked out wonderfully. Okay, it really did. So Aquarius, do not fear making the changes. I mean, actually, we all kind of embraced it. I think we were all in shock at dinner that night. We were all like, what? But it worked out just beautifully. And it was good for her too. It was really good for her. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to wish you so much love and light. Please be kind and gentle with yourself as you're moving through this full moon and Scorpio energy. I really appreciate all of your support through liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.